Hello, my name is Alison McWhinnie, and I'm one of the trustees at the Confederation of Healing Organisations. And today I'm having a chat with our Chief Executive, Sue Knight, on what is healing. We thought this would be a very good way to start Healing Awareness Week, to actually define what healing is. So, Sue, what are your thoughts on what healing actually is and what it isn't?
Yes, very good. Well, hi. Shall we start with what it isn't?
That's a very good place to start.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people think that if they're going to have healing, they're going to be cured from their ills, whatever they might be. And that is absolutely not the case. None of us healers who abide by a code of conduct are going to tell people that we can cure them. And quite frankly, if any healer says that to you, that they're going to cure you, just walk away.
Mm.
Just turn around and walk away. Because that's a really, well, I'm not going to go there. Um, Basically, what it is, from my point of view, is put it in simple terms. A lot of us have children in our lives, and whether they're their actual parents or we're grandparents or brother, sister, cousin, whatever, there are children in our lives. And if one of those children falls over and hurts themselves, what do we do? What would you do if one of your friend's children fell over whilst in
You,
your
you
care?
pick them up and you reassure them and you touch them and you cuddle them.
You comfort them, basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
you comfort them. And really, that's what healing is in its simplest form. It's about that absolutely unconditional love, that compassion for another human being. So when you are comforting that child, you're giving them healing.
Mm.
Okay. So that is in its simplest form, that's what it is. Um, Aside from that, you can go into the whole thing about energy. You can talk about intent. And when I say intent, it's about that's what healers tend to do. They tend to, I'm going to say, tune into an energy that's around all of us and part of all of us, and basically intend that healing energy to be given to the person, sent to the person, however you want to say it. A lot of healers talk about channeling healing energy. There are those that don't, but in the end, we're all doing the same thing. We might
Mm.
have, you know, there are a lot of names for healing, a lot of names for different healing modalities. I mean, there's healing, there's Reiki, there's pranic healing, there's touch for health. There's all sorts of different healing. And of course, we are all doing the same thing in the end. We just call
Mhm.
it different names and we might use different tools. But actually, the tool that I think is probably common to all of us is our hands. Even then, there are those who won't even touch people.
Yeah.
It's about the energy around us, and which we're part of. What do you think it is?
I liken us as healers to radios and equipment like that.
Hmm?
Because if you have a radio or a TV set, in the off position, they don't do anything. But when you switch them on, they have the ability to pick up frequencies that we don't sense at all and change those frequencies into a radio program on the radio or a TV program on the TV. And I think as healers, we're picking up an energy that can't be seen or touched, but we're like a transmitter and we convert that energy to go through to the person that we are sending healing energy to.
I like that.
And I think it's a bit because sometimes it can come across as a bit woo-woo.
Mm,
People think it's woo-woo, but actually, when you think of the advances in technology over recent decades, that does make use of what we cannot see.
mm.
I think there's a lot we still don't know, and I think healing is kind of working along those lines. And I also think that healing is about creating a state of relaxation in the client because in a relaxed state, that will help the body with its own natural healing processes.
Do
Um,
Do you feel, I certainly do you feel that when we call ourselves healers, it's a bit of a misnomer? Because
Yes.
we're not the healers. The person's body, mind, and spirit are doing the healing.
Yeah.
So actually, we're not the healers. We're sort of facilitating their
I was just about to say facilitator. That was the name that came to my mind. Yes. And the energy is not our energy, or it shouldn't
no,
be
fine.
if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
It's coming through you. And so we're sort of making use of the energy that is around, but it's not our energy.
Mm. No, and again,
Um,
some healers talk about being drained after healing, and it's not a good thing either.
yeah.
But, yeah, I mean
And
that's
it's funny because when I first started training to become a healer, one of my concerns was, oh, what if I can't do it?
mm,
And my tutor at the time said, well, it's not you anyway. It's,
mm,
the healing energy is not coming from you, it's coming through you. And that took a lot of pressure off me at the time. I
mhm.
thought, well, it's not my fault. But no, I think that there's an awful lot we don't know. And it's about also working alongside the doctors and consultants. So if somebody came to me for healing, I'd always say, are you seeing a doctor? Are you seeing a consultant? And also with animals, are you taking them to the vet? And what does the vet say? It's always about being complementary rather than instead of.
Absolutely. I mean, in November 2000, the House of Lords published a report which was all about categorising complementary therapies, and healing is a group two categorisation of
Yeah,
complementary therapy. And lots of people don't realise that it's a complementary therapy.
yeah,
I mean, when you think about the way, for instance, hospices look at it, they will take Reiki healers on board or Reiki therapists, Reiki practitioners, but they don't like to have healers because, as far as they're concerned, that is giving people false hope almost that they're going to
yes,
get better. And actually, healing is not about getting better or curing someone. It's about helping someone wherever they are in their particular life path. And if
yes,
it's about helping someone who's dying, it's not about necessarily helping them to get better. It's about helping them on that pathway, that
yes.
transition to whatever they believe in, whether it is about never coming back again or whether actually their soul lives on.
Mm.
It's about, and there's a whole nother topic we could talk about.
And I
But
think also where people have been in the process of dying and have received healing,
mm,
those healing sessions have helped them feel better in that moment,
yeah, yeah,
and can also be a support to their carers as well, particularly family carers, close carers, who I think it's important to always remember the carers in the process as well, because they're going through their own journey that is painful, um, their
and
own
the bereaved,
emotional
of course,
journal. Sorry?
and the bereaved,
Yes,
after someone's death,
yes,
they definitely need care. And very much, I mean, mental health is very much in the news in the last few years, isn't it? Certainly
mm,
over the pandemic. And healing helps people with mental health problems so much.
mm,
It can really help. A case of relaxation, a case of maybe introducing someone to meditation. It could be anything, but it gives
mm.
them that space to just receive.
I think also it gives them an inner strength, because
Mhm.
sometimes people will reach out for props in life, be it alcohol, food, drugs, because there's a sense of emptiness or fear or whatever inside of them. But I think these techniques can help build the inner muscle, so there is less need to reach out for external props
Mm, mm,
as
yeah,
well.
okay.
I'm always fascinated by the different kinds of healing in terms of contact healing and distant healing, and how distant healing can be just as effective, if not more sometimes, than
Mm,
contact healing.
mm, yeah, in lots of ways it is more, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's again something else we can talk about. I mean, you know, we have plans for lots more happening over Healing Awareness Week, one of which is looking at the science of healing. And I think that's something we could definitely look at in the
Mm.
science of healing episode.
Yeah.
So people can tune back in and have a look at that one.
Yeah. And I think with distant healing, what amazed me during the pandemic when we all took to Zoom,
Mm.
and I was involved in programs that gave healing over Zoom. And at the start, we all wondered, oh, is this going to work over technology? And it's amazing how it does.
Oh, it absolutely
And
does.
people can feel the energy affect them,
Yeah.
um, even though you're using very modern technology. It still can have an impact on people. Um,
Well, there's no such thing as time, space, etc. Is there with healing?
no,
It happens. It
yeah.
happens. It works. It works.
Do you feel people need to believe in healing for it to have any impact? Do they need to have
I
faith?
think that no, there's it. I think it certainly helps, but no, I don't believe that they have to. If you think about plants, if you think about animals, think
Yeah.
about I mean, I go out in my garden and I'm literally, I'm being healed and I'm giving healing in my garden. Um, so no, it's about energy, isn't it? It's about that. It's going to work.
Mm,
Um, but again, I think most of us within a code of conduct are basically taught not to give healing unless it's been asked for. And that doesn't mean we can't send out healing to things like war zones or
mm,
situations where there might be a need for healing. Of course, we can. But if someone in particular is in need of healing, then it's normally being asked for by a relative or somebody else, and then that's okay, or by themselves, obviously.
mm,
Um, but I know that I've had people come to me very begrudgingly because somebody sent them. Oh well, my wife wants me to come, but I don't really believe in this stuff, sort of thing. And then they sit there very quietly, and you just know that you just know that it's getting through to them, and you're watching their eyes getting bigger or whatever. And yeah, of course they feel it,
mm.
and they will, and again they'll sort of. "Hmm, well, I don't know what that's about, especially in Somerset. Some of the farmers, etc., that are sort of I've given healing to, and it's sort of I don't know what that's about kind of thing. But they felt something. That's
Yeah.
the point. They felt something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I don't. What about you? Do you think people have to believe in it, or
No, I don't. And I think the acid test there is the fact that animals lap healing up. When you start to give an animal some healing, um, they absolutely lap it up and almost don't want you to stop.
they just melt, don't
They
they?
just melt and quite often fall asleep as well, which is great because that's always a good sign. You're looking for signs in them that, they're receiving it and they're doing well. So for me, that's the acid test that the healing can work with or without faith. And, as healers, we will give healing on request to people of all religions or people with no religion. That isn't even a question that I would ask.
Right. It's not. It's just matter, doesn't
No, not at all. Not at all. And it's done with the best of intentions from us as well. So it's for their highest good as well. But no, religion for me doesn't come into it at all.
Well, as I started off with, it's all about unconditional love, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you feel that anybody could become a healer, Sue?
Aha. Yes, I do. If they're open to it. What I have found, because I used to have students, and what I have found is often it takes some sort of major life event or trauma or anything to make people think, is there something else in life
Mm,
I could be doing? It opens them up to it. But as long as someone, actually, one of the biggest things to learn is a trust in what you're doing,
mm,
and that that healing energy will happen. But B, also to love yourself. And I think
mm,
above all, one has to love oneself and have, as I said, that completely unconditional love for whoever one's giving the healing to, whether
mm.
animal or human. You think about animals, you think about the unconditional love they give to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
that to me is what it's about, is being able to open yourself up to that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
When you're giving healing, do you feel anything?
Yeah. How long do we want this to go on for? Yes, I do. I will often be drawn to a particular place, somebody's body, for instance, or I can feel heat or cold or tingling, just like
Yes.
my clients can, and I tend to call them clients rather than patients. But yeah, yes, I do, and I can feel all sorts. As I said, how long have you got?
Yes, I can feel differences in temperature, and also the tingling as well. I personally tend not to see colours, but some people do, don't they?
Mm,
Both on the client side and healers
mm,
as well. That can happen too.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think one of the important things to get across too is, which we sort of touched on, is the fact that being a complementary therapy, it's important to talk. Certainly, this is what the CHO, the Confederation of Healing Organisations, has been doing for a number of years now, is trying to raise awareness about it, but using a capital H for healing.
Mm.
So it's a noun, right? Like capital R for Reiki.
Yeah.
Reiki has almost become a brand name, a bit like
Yes.
Hoover for when you're vacuuming a floor. We're all
Yeah.
hoovering the floor, but actually we're vacuuming the floor.
Yeah.
So it's become a bit of a brand name, but actually healing's not got that brand name yet. And that's what I would love to see.
Mm.
Healing becomes that brand name almost.
Mm.
To me, I don't tend to call myself a healer. I tend to call myself a practitioner of healing, because it's the healing that's a complementary therapy. So I'm a practitioner of healing.
Yeah. Do you feel that somebody needs to be ill to benefit from healing?
No, absolutely not.
Mm.
Absolutely not. We can all benefit from healing.
Mm.
And I think we, as those healing practitioners, actually benefit too, to a certain degree,
Mm.
because we're in that special space, if you like, because we're because we are in that compassionate space, right? Because we're doing what we're doing, and I'm sure that's the same for all complementary therapists. We're helping others,
Mm.
we're giving.
Mm. I
Anyway.
think also healing can be very beneficial to anybody who feels stressed by life,
Mm,
be it a job role that they have, or just life generally. It gives that space for a little bit of me time to totally relax, and I think can help prevent an illness developing because you're taking time out to relax.
mm,
So you don't actually have to be ill to benefit.
mm.
I don't think at all. I think it has merit regardless.
As you say, sometimes it's about prevention.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're preventing ourselves from getting overstressed or overburdened or whatever. Well, who knows what else might be prevented? We might be preventing a stroke,
Yeah,
It's really important.
yeah.
And there's a lot of healers who do give their services for donation. There are healers who charge. There are healers who might take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. They're all different. So I would always say to people, always ask, if you find somebody online or by word of mouth, always ask what they do, how much they charge, do they belong to an organization, are they a
Mm,
registered healer? Because the CHO has lots of registered healers under them, as do other healing organizations as well. Certainly all those involved in Healing Awareness Week. So yeah, it's important that you always ask, and actually, if we're a registered healer, we're going to be insured as well.
absolutely. And that's important too.
And we've done training. you
Yeah.
know. We've actually trained to get here.
Mm.
In a lot of cases, it could be 2 years training, certainly 200 hours plus training. So, yeah.
What could somebody expect if they came for contact healing? Because somebody might, who's never had healing before, might be a bit apprehensive about taking those first steps.
I think that's almost a whole nother subject, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could do. I think we could do that in another video.
Okay.
There's a
Challenge
challenge.
accepted.
There's a challenge. Yeah. I think we could do that in a whole other video. Just
Yeah.
when to explain to people what they could.
So just wrapping up, is there anything else you feel that we haven't covered?
Oh, look, I could go on talking about healing for hours. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. I can't actually think of anything at the moment, but again, we can do some more videos, can't we? If this
Yeah.
is so,
Yeah.
watch this space, people. We could be
And
back.
also, if our viewers have any questions about healing, please feel free to contact us and we'll be happy to answer your questions.
And the contact details will be under the video.
Yeah. And
The
yeah, we'd
video
love
will
to
be
hear from people.
the video will be hosted on the Healing Awareness Week website as well as our own CHO website. So yeah, somewhere or other they'll get to know how to contact.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alison.
Well, Sue, thank you so much for a lovely chat today. Thank you. And our subject we're both passionate about.
Not quite.
Thank you so much.
See you
Bye
again.
for now.